Hello dear friends. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to insert a formula and a function in a worksheet. In my last tutorial, I had given you a kind of brief overview so as to how to enter a formula. Just to do a quick recap, if I want to find out the sum of all the subject marks and I want to create a score sheet for a class of 10 students, let us say, and I need to find out what is the total of each student given that highest marks in every subject are 20. So the way that I had told you to do it last time was simply is equal to type the formula, start with is equal to, all right, and then after is equal to write the addresses of the cells that whose sums you have to add. It's not D4, that's English. Our first cell would be D5, that is containing the value 20. Okay, so let's start with this. D5 plus E5 plus F5 plus G5 plus H5 plus I5. So that's going to give us the sum of all the subject marks between English to Hindi, and we give an enter and we get 100. And when we just simply drag it down up till number 10, we get the sum. All right. Now there's another way of doing it. Instead of typing the formula is to use an inbuilt function. So the basic difference between using a formula and using a function is that for a formula you need to type the whole formula yourself, and while using a function all you need to do is just type is equal to, find out the function name, and to be able to find the function name all you need to do is just to go to the formula tab, and you can look at the insert function button over here, right here. Okay, when you look at insert function, it will give you the list of functions that you would like to observe use in this formula. All right, so the function that we are going to study today is probably average, sum, max, min, and count. Since I need to find out the total, so my function is going to be sum. And in the brackets, instead of writing the cell addresses of all the cells, I just need to write the first cell and the last cell separated with a colon. So the first cell, as we can see, is D5, colon, the last cell, that is I5. So that makes my job much simpler. Instead of writing the whole range of cells cell by cell, I just type is equal to function name. Let me show the function again to you. Have a look at the formula bar here. Is equal to sum D5 colon I5, and that gives us the total, and we just drag it down and we get the sum for all the values and all the students. And when we double click on any particular cell, we see that the sum is changing corresponding to that particular cell, which is, as you all know, referencing of cell, relative referencing of cell with respect to the current cell. Now if I want to find out the average, again we use the same syntax, is equal to name of the function name is average, and the range. And please make sure when you are entering the range you don't add J5, because then the marks of all the students will be added to their total to find out the average, which is going to be wrong. So we must write again D5 colon, my last number is in Hindi, that is 16, and the cell address is I5, I5. And that's the average, and we can just drag it down, so we get the averages of all the students in all the subjects. All right, and as you can see, some of these numbers are increased to the number of decimal places because they are non-repeating decimal numbers, decimal numbers. So we can always go and decrease the decimal. We go to the home tab, and as you can see, this is the decrease decimal button. Just click on the decrease decimal button and you can round it off to the nearest zero, or whatever you want. And once you've rounded it off, that's your answer. The average of every student is given in the K column. Now if I want to find out how many students appeared for the test in a particular, here we can see there are 10 students and all 10 of them have appeared in all the tests. But what if some of the students have missed some tests? For instance, if I see Mansi Sharma here and I put a delete, she has missed this test. Okay, let's say Romil here and he has missed two tests, like he has missed his maths test and he's missed his social studies test as well. Okay, then there are some children, or let's say Saira has missed her science test, or maybe Sonia has missed a computer test, or Rui has also missed a computer test. Now, why am I making these blanks? I'm making these because, as you can see, as and when I put a blank here, the corresponding value changes here, the total changes, all right? So that's how the formula and the cells are linked. Now, if I want to find out how many number of students appeared in every test, then there is a very interesting function that I can use, and that is the count function. Count function, children, simply calculates the number of cells in a range that contain a value. It is going to omit the cells that don't contain a value. For instance, if I want to see how many students have appeared in the English test, the marks are starting from D5 and they're going till D14. So I'm going to write D5 colon D14 brackets, enter. So that makes it 9. So as I can see that 9 students out of 10 had appeared for the English test, and when I drag it up till Hindi, I will find out which student per test has appeared and which student has not appeared for a given test. Alright, so that's how I determine how the count function works. It counts the number of cells that contain values and it leaves the cells that are blank. If I need to find out who has got the highest marks in each subject, then again I use is equal to, but this time I'm going to use the max function, max max, and we put a bracket there again and we write the same range. The range was D5 colon D14, right? Enter. And as you can see, the highest marks are 20. So we just drag it up till Hindi and we see what are the highest marks. We can even drag it up to totals and average to find out who's got the highest total and who's got the highest average marks. So that makes it, as we can see, 113 is here. So 113 means Manish Singh has got the highest marks, highest total marks. And as we can see, the subject total, subject highest marks can be found out from here. Similarly, for finding out the lowest marks is equal to min, same range, D4 colon D15, brackets, enter. And we drag it again and we get the lowest marks in every subject, including the lowest total and the lowest average. So children, that's how simple uh, this thing, a function makes. That's how simple a function makes work for you if you are using it properly. So it's always good to use functions than writing lengthy formulas if you know how to use them nicely. So I think now you'll be able to do your questions based on your projects and your activities, where you have to find out what is the largest in a given cell range or what is the smallest in a given cell range, and you know how to use all these functions which are given in your text. The total, that is the sum function, the average function, the count function, the max function, and the min function. That's all from me today. Thank you and Jai Jagat.